Were you asked to run, or was it your choice to run? And if so, why the choice of the Conservative Party? You've answered that in many parts, but I want to ask you that one more time.
Well, that's a very good question, actually. You know, one has many choices to make in life. First and foremost, I was happily retired for a little while, and then this opportunity came along. But I drew on my experience with the Prime Minister that I've had long before he became Prime Minister, when he was in opposition and I was the police chief in Toronto, when he took the time and the interest to meet with me. And since then, I've had the opportunity to have input on different aspects of legislation, proposed legislation, other initiatives, and I feel that the Prime Minister has been, either in his time when he was in opposition or currently as a Prime Minister, he has been one individual certainly that I admire greatly. I certainly trust him because he has delivered and he continues to deliver on the things that are very critical and necessary, even though in a minority government situation. It hasn't been all that easy. Mm-hmm. It hasn't been easy at all, especially when you had the Ignatieff-led coalition working hard to basically fragment our country. And I find that really hypocritical, because we've had great prime ministers in the past who have worked so hard to keep our country united, and the inclusiveness of our country and those kinds of things that we value, I value. Mm-hmm. And then you have Ignatieff teaming up with Duceppe, the Bloc, whose only political purpose in life seems to be to tear down and divide and conquer. Mm-hmm. What is in fact one of the greatest stories anywhere about a country that is welcoming, that has a preponderance of diverse and unique people from so many cultures and traditions and countries and whatever. And then so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing as well. Mm-hmm. I just feel that we're challenged by some of these threats to the existence of a united, cohesive country. Mm-hmm.
Unlike politicians who always wanted to be politicians, who've groomed themselves to become politicians, you're someone who's been in public service for a very long time, and now after you've done your work with public services, you want to go into politics to help the country, based on what you're saying. Now, as someone who has not had the intention of running for politics all these years, your take on politics itself would be different, I suppose. How do you see politicians doing whatever they're doing now, and how is it going to be different for you to enter in there and do something different?
Well, my only hope, of course, is to be able to contribute to decisions that need to be made to ensure that we do the best we can for the greater good. The only reason politicians exist, or police chiefs exist, or commissioners exist, is to serve the public. And there's three things that I know for a fact about me and that I'm very comfortable with. One, I know who I am, mm-hmm. obviously. I know my background, I know where I've come from, I know about my ancestry, I know the value system that have made me the person that I am today. I know what I'm here to do. I've always known that. When I was a police officer, it was always that drive to do what is required of me to do as a result of my oath of office. Mm-hmm. The service to public, if need be, to even put myself in danger in order to achieve the greater good, which was my duty to do. And I've always known who to serve. I've always known, I've had no trouble ever identifying why I was here, who I'm here to serve. And so I've always done this, and I will continue doing that. So all I can hope to do is be on the inside, if you will, or be at the table, if you will, when decisions are made that affect the greater good, and hopefully be able to provide input and be heard on issues that I think I can bring to the table with an absolute grounding in reality. I've been there, I've done that. There aren't too many things that I don't know about the things that affect the public broadly, and be able to share that experience. That's why I think that I would make a very, very valuable asset and a voice of leadership for the people of Vaughan to bring their issues forward, which also happen to be my issues and my family's issues. Mm-hmm. I have my family, all of us. We've lived in this community since 1981. I've been involved in the growth of this community. I've been involved in every aspect of the lifeline of this community, be it as a volunteer or as a resident or as whatever. And I think I have the pulse of the community. So the very things that affect broadly the people of Vaughan are the very things that I know about or have the experience and can, of course, bring that to the decision-making table. So for me, it isn't so much about the politics as we know politics to be. It's about continuing to provide public service in a way that is really, really plugged into the lifeline of the community, and someone that can hopefully influence decisions to be made on behalf of the citizens, the people here, such as the hospital. We are one of the communities, one of the largest communities in the country, basically, that does not have its own hospital locally. There's a lot of work being done. There's a lot of effort underway. There are people who are working very hard to achieve this very important milestone in the lifeline of the community. And what I hope to do, should I be successful, I hope to energize and bring this issue forward to the federal government as well, so as we can truly be partners in this process, so as every level of government and the community share in what will be a great success and a great benefit to the people.
Mm-hmm. I quickly wanted to note a point at your nomination announcement speech. You made a very subtle remark about how the coalition idea is undemocratic, but unlike other politicians who would play partisan politics, you seem to have played it well. You feel strongly that the coalition idea is completely undemocratic and it should be scrapped.
I do indeed. I think that if there's a time when we have to, when people feel that the political leadership of this country needs to be dismantled for whatever reason, then I think it's up to the people of this country to speak to that issue, not some self-serving, self-appointed political folks who can disregard the rights and entitlement and the voice of the constituency. When we talk about making these drastic changes to our democratic system in this country, I believe that that is the right and the entitlement that the people who vote should have, and not people who make deals behind the scenes. I call it a palace coup without the guns. And that's how it sounded, it looked like to me. When it did happen, I took the time to send emails to anybody and everybody that, members of parliament that I knew who were involved in this, led by Ignatieff, and expressed my deep concerns about that. So I remain committed to a united, cohesive, welcoming country that does not resort itself in terms of political leadership to these kinds of conspiratorial disenfranchisement of my rights as a Canadian citizen to vote on these issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're a very busy man. You've taken a lot of time to talk to us. How is your campaign going thus far?
It's going great. There are many things that are very positive, and that is the welcoming that we're receiving at the door, and the kinds of issues that I'm hearing are those that resonate deeply with me. It seems that we have people in this community in Vaughan that have the same issues, concerns, hopes, and aspirations, and so that's a big plus. The other big plus, of course, is that I'm getting to meet a lot of people everywhere, very decent, welcoming people who are generous with their expressions of concerns. There's a time for change, as I feel people are expressing their views. And I'm also one that's going to work with the various levels of government. Like I'm not so concerned about dividing and carving ourselves up in a way that we respect our individual political stripe, if you will. Yes, but ultimately we all have to work together for the greater good of the people we're here to serve, and that to me is the driving force. So all of these things are happening as we speak. I'm really gratified by the numbers of volunteers, the people I'm privileged to work with. I'm very, very pleased with the way things are going. I have no intentions of getting into a negative campaign. I have no interest in criticizing any opponent. I'm more focused on going forward and doing what we need to do to give the people the assurance that a vote for Fantino on the 29th of November is the best investment they can make in the future of their families, their children, and their grandchildren. And that's what I'm here to do.
Thank you very much for your time, sir. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was Julian Fantino, the Conservative candidate for Vaughan. We'll catch up with you with another politician. Thanks for watching.